Hi, in this video I'm going to explain about my personal project, how I did this simulation cloth, how I created the cloth, how I simulated the cloth in Qualath by using the Qualath in Maya. So first I have a file over here, I have a character here. So this character, I was inputted a motion capture file. So this model has been downloaded and the motion capture has been downloaded from Mixamo, and this one has a small animation. So if you see this animation, so I'm just going to show joints. I'm going to show just I'm selecting a joint. So if you see here, so I have started my animation from 25th frame. Animation is starting from 25th frame, and in between I have given 25 frames for a cloth to settle up. So I'm starting from the first frame. I kept it as a T-pose. So I'm just coming back. So I'll switch on the joints, switch off, sorry, so that by default I won't select this joints. Then see here I've created a cloth pan cloth in Marvelous Designer. Then I have exported as an OBJ and I imported as a OBJ in Maya. So if I'm selecting, if you see this one, it has a high polygon mesh, and if I'm seeing it in outliner, so I have a follow. So under the group we have only one mesh, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a cloth simulation. So I'm selecting the pan. I'm just going to the Qualath menu, so you can see all the Qualath menu over here. So I'm going to create the cloth. So I'm not going to use create pattern, because already I created the mesh. So I'm going to apply create cloth. So once you click the cloth, if you just see the outliner, you can see QL solver, QL cloth and QL output. So this three will be created and the original mesh will be hidden. So I'm just selecting this all three, and I'm going to put this inside this folder just for a keep on align. So first thing, now the cloth has been created. The second, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a collider. So body is going to be my collider. So I'm selecting the cloth and I'm going to select this model, and I'm going to cloth, and you can see create collider. So it will be creating a collider, and you can see a collider offset is switched. It will be by default visibility off. So if you just check the collider, this one, if you just come down, you can see the offset, how much offset from the original mesh. It should be 0.3. if you want to check how much it is, if you want to see this one, just click switch on this, so you can see how much has been distance is done. Okay, for as per this one, this file, it's okay. So I'm just going to back switch off. So if you want to you want to adjust this, you adjust this offset. So now everything is okay for me. So I'm just putting this cloth letter inside my pan folder. And now what I'm going to do, this third one is what I'm going to do is, before simulating this cloth, and I'm going to create the constraint, the cloth has to stay attached with this body. So what I'm going to do is, I'm selecting this cloth, I'm just right clicking this, I'm going to select some of the vertex, the hip vertices. Chairs, I'm selecting I'm just selecting only for this one, just for testing purpose. I'm just selecting this one, only this hip I'm just selecting, shift select this body. You can go to the Qualath menu, you can find something called constraint, and you can see the attach constraint. Click the attach constraint. So only this vertices will be attached with this one, with this body. So wherever this body goes, this won't, so that this vertex will be attached, so that the pant won't come down, it won't fall down from away from this body. So call it the constraint. I'll also put it inside this, so that I can see active is on. Okay, and the next step, what I'm going to do is, now we can come back to our cloth. So I can go back to the attribute editor. So you have two things over here. One is simulator attributes, another one is material properties. So first we'll come to the simulator properties, similar attributes. So frame samples, please increase it. If you have a fast motion, you need to keep it higher, up to 20 you can go to. So for this project I'm going to keep it as a 6. I'm going to leave all things as by default, and come to the self collision. I'm going to switch on the self collision. Always it should be on because for self is colliding this one. And I'm coming to my material property. So this material property has a 14. You have the 14 types of you can control the material property. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch resistance. I'm going to work on stretch resistance. I'm going to decrease this, and I'm going to work on the bend resistance. So bend resistance, you need to decrease it so that you will get a more smoothness of cloth. So rest I'm going to keep it as it is, and I'm going to coming to the collision attributes. So make sure self collision is on. Okay, anyway it's on. So come to the cache attributes. What is cache attributes is you need to save this cache. Once it's cached, you need to save it a folder so that it will be again it will be saved on every frame. So I'm just going to create this folder where I'm going to do it. I'm going to save a folder. So I'm going to create folder. For example, I just created today for interest. Just open this. So just create this today. I'm going to create this today. Whatever you can create as a band, whatever it is, I'm going to create a bar. Right? That's it. So we are ready to simulate this one. So how to simulate is you can just click the play button, it will simulate. Before clicking the play button, go to your animation preferences, make sure you want the playback speed of play every frame. So keep it always play every frame before simulating. I'm just keeping it away. Just I'm deselecting everything. Just start play. So it takes depends upon your system, which system you are using. Minimum you should use 16 GB of RAM for simulating this better cloth for fasteners. So it starts simulating. So you can check out all this frame by frame, how much you had to give some time for something happen. So I already created a simulation for this, so we don't have to wait for the simulation. So for stopping the simulation, press escape button. The simulation will be stopped. So if you want to connect the already existed simulation, I'm just coming to again I'm selecting this cloth. So I'm coming to the cache folder. So I'm just selecting this. I'm already created this band cache, so I'm just connecting this with this cache. So this name you should give the same name. Should give the same name for which one you are simulated this one. So I'm just giving the same name. My name is pants, so I'm just giving this as a pants. So just see this. So now we can see the pants is been moving everywhere. So I have been simulated all this one. You can see pants caching. You can see all this being cached. So the same way what I did, I have imported the shirt. Same way I have imported the shirt. So I come to the first frame. So if I see this same one, so same way what I did it, if I'm checking, I'll show it in the outliner. Just same way I did it, same way I created the cloth. Here I did it little two constraint. I did it because why I did two constraint over. You can find two constraints. Why I did it. One thing is for the sleeves. This one I selected all this what is attached to this body so that it will always stay with this body. And another constraint I made it for this belt, so this it will be always fixed. It won't come out of this one. So I did it this two one. So again I'll connect it cache folder with this. If I'm connecting this cache, I'm just going to connect cache with this. So shirt cache, open this. So just if you see this, both is getting simulated. So if you just play blast this, if you want to see this play blast, see I already so I've done this play blast, so you can see the play blast of this. So if you see here, you can see little the edges little bit. You can see all everywhere. You can see hard edges. See over here also it has been created in the cloth. So why this is because it's your original the body mesh, which is this body mesh. I'm selecting my body mesh. So if this body mesh has a hard edges with this, that's what it is happening for this also. So if you want to perfect collide, if you don't want to get this one, if you don't want to see it's having a hard edges with this, so that it is not pulling, you should also get this mesh also should have a high polygon, so that you won't get this hard edges in your cloth. So if you're having hard edges in your model, you will also get hard edges in your cloth. So create again the smooth this body mesh, and again you simulate, you will be getting the perfect one without this hard edges. Thank you for watching this.